Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Healing Room. Just getting going here. Come on in. I hope you will join me tonight. Welcome to the Healing Room. Come on in, everybody. Welcome to the Healing Room. So glad you're here. Come on in, everybody. I'm trying to get some light in here. That's not going too well. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. We are just getting started tonight in the Healing Room. Have a great topic for you. So come in and get comfortable while I try to turn some light on. Let's see here. All right. While I'm doing this, welcome. Come on in. All right. Tonight, I am going to be talking about a topic that is all over my social media channels. This topic is about peace. How much is your peace worth? That's the topic tonight. How much is your peace worth? So come on in, everybody. Let's talk about this. I am going to start off by sharing with you my story. I talk about it all the time because it is my passion. It's what brings me here to you every week and to my clients every day. I am thankful for my experience of a 20-year marriage to a narcissist. And the reason why is because of the blessing that I have gained in awareness of myself. So I want to share with you my story. Every now and then, I kind of get challenged with the opportunity to reflect on my own experience. And let's see, before I get started, though, I want to make sure that everyone, I see you here. Thank you so much for being here. Let me just make sure I'm live everywhere. Yep, I see everybody is here from somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, but there is one person who is wondering where I am. All right. So I am going to start by sharing my story with you. And let me first say this. I am live everywhere. Someone's telling me I'm not live on Instagram. I see several people showing up. So I am so glad to see you. And it does say I'm streaming everywhere. So yeah, I'm going to keep going. If you're on Instagram and you see me, give me a heart or throw something in the chat. Let me know that I am live and you are with me on Instagram. I see you on TikTok and I see that I'm live everywhere, but I just want to make sure that everybody is able to find me. So if not, this will be live. I'm going to keep going so that you guys will be able to catch this. All right. I'm going to start by sharing with you my story. As you all may know, and hopefully you're following me. If not, please do. I'm a licensed therapist, but first and foremost, I'm a survivor. I am just like you. I am where you are. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, if you're in a toxic relationship and you believe that relationship, the partner that you are with is a narcissist, I encourage you to let me walk with you. The comments that I'm getting just every day on all of my platforms just gives me encouragement. It gives me It just reminds me of my purpose, and it reminds me of why I have had the experience that I had of being married to a narcissist for 30 years. So I want to share with you my story. I met my then boyfriend when I was 17 years old. I had just hit the college campus, and he had already been there for a year. And he was well known and popular on the college campus. I am just new, fresh out of high school, haven't even turned 18 yet because my birthday is late. And so I was very quickly smitten. And so throughout my college career, we dated. So obviously, through those 4 years for me of dating, there were all kinds of red flags that, in hindsight, were obvious. They were obvious. But to me, they were easily um, justified, rationalized, minimized because I was smitten. And so I am just really, those rose colored glasses. I just have those rose colored glasses where I'm like, you know what? This is just what I want. This is just who I want to be with. And so for that reason, I am completely able to overlook anything having to do with signs that I'm in a relationship with a narcissist. Okay? So for those 4 years, I am able to just go on and just focus on the good times, to focus on those moments that give me that dopamine rush, that give me the high, that give me what I'm obviously needing in this relationship. Someone who makes me feel good, someone who is able to make me feel special. So, this is the stage where the red flags are easily avoidable. By the time I get out of college, I go into grad school and we marry while I'm in grad school. So, I am now just in the flow of my fantasy, and what I am looking forward to in terms of being in a relationship with a well, didn't know it at the time, but in terms of being in a relationship with someone who I saw as someone who was going to fulfill my fantasy of being a wife and a mother, right? So I go forward, we get married, it's just beautiful. And now remember, those red flags that I was ignoring, they're still there. I'm just not paying them any attention. Like I said, minimizing, rationalizing, overlooking them, and things like that because of what I am seeing or want to see in this person. So let's fast forward through the years. What do we know about marriage? Marriage is hard work. We're told that all the time, right? Well, are we thinking about that when we're actually, deciding to marry someone? Are we actually thinking about that? No, we're not, because we are more focused on what feels good. That's what we're more focused on. And so for that reason, time can go on because at this point, we're all in. We are all in at this point. And so the things that are that should concern us, our desire to be in this relationship is what we're more focused on, what we're more willing to identify as why the things that we're experiencing that we don't enjoy, why they're okay. Over time, we lose sight of our peace. So tonight's conversation is about how much peace is worth. How much is your peace worth? Okay? I want you to think about that as we're talking. Let's talk about the ways in which we sacrifice our peace. Hindsight. We look back, and when you look back, it's because you're ready. You're ready to see what's always been there, but that you cannot any longer ignore because you're getting depleted emotionally, mentally, psychologically. You're getting depleted. And so when we finally get to a place of, I need help clearing my head, trying to figure out what's happening to me, trying to figure out why am I allowing myself to experience things that are so uncomfortable. And this is where we begin to dive into how we have been surviving. So, what we have thought was keeping the peace was actually surviving. So, the ways we sacrifice our peace. When you are over explaining, when you are defending yourself just to avoid upsetting them or making them angry or creating an argument or something that is going to affect the peace in the house or in your relationship, that is sacrificing yourself for peace, walking on eggshells. So when you are careful with your words, when you are managing when's the right time to bring this up or when's the right time to um, to ask for something that you need from your partner, when you know their mood so well that you know when not to speak, you know when not to bring up something. Like for me, it was when he comes home from work, for at least an hour, don't talk, don't bring anything up, don't don't do anything, because they need their downtime, they need to decompress. Now that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense in the moment, and we learn how to manage that, justify and rationalize to ourselves. But what we're doing is sacrificing our peace. Now there's a difference between understanding that when someone gets home from work, they don't want to just jump right into deep conversations or, things like that. But what might we have been doing? We might have just gotten home from work too. We might have just fed the kids and helped them with their homework and given baths and made dinner and made sure dinner was ready and tidied up a little bit, or if you're in school doing schoolwork and all of those things. So we see them coming home as finally our time to, but you know what? We are empathetic. We understand. So we're going to wait for the right time. But over time, if you look back, how good are you at recognizing when is a good time to bring up? What should you bring up? What is not to bring up? What types of things do you make sure that the timing is right? That's eggshell walking. The next thing is when you actively minimize your needs because you don't want to be too much. That's sacrificing your peace. Another way that we sacrifice our peace is when we take responsibility for someone else's emotions. So when they have a hard day at work, I'm just going to keep using that as an example. When they have a hard day at work, we want to respect that. When they are upset about something, I was really good at managing things like that. I knew how to calm him down. I knew how to talk to him in a tone that would help him to not escalate. I was really good at managing his emotions, and that was for my sake, because if he's okay, I'm okay. I have some peace. So again, that is sacrificing our peace. When we stay silent, when when we're not leaving spaces that drain you because of guilt or fear. These are all the ways that we are sacrificing our peace. The next question is, why does peace matter? Throughout my marriage, I didn't know I was sacrificing my peace. I didn't consider it that. I considered it what a wife does. This is just what a wife does. A wife is, and I happen to be a very submissive wife, because I thought that was love. I thought that was respect. I thought that was what a wife was supposed to do. I didn't know that I was actually sacrificing my peace. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't be um, um, accommodating to your spouse. I'm not saying that at all. There is a difference between being accommodating in a partnership versus overcompensating and minimizing ourselves yet in a partnership. That means it's not a partnership. So this is what I had to learn over time. The difference. I thought, and a lot of women, I'll say, without being, gender specific, but I'll just say that we're taught to let the man lead. Even the church says the man is the head of the household and things like that. So we are taught early on to be submissive to our husbands or to our significant others. And some of us are just a little more so than others, to a fault. And that was me. I was submissive to a fault. And I used to say, I created a monster. I literally used to say, I created a monster. Because he began to expect it. Well, he actually always expected it, but it became normal. It became the norm. So over time, you can only be that way for so long without getting that in return as it relates to a partnership. And as I grew tired and exhausted, it was still expected because that was the bar that I met, the expectation that I met for so long. So when I got tired, it was just not okay. It was not okay. So now I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not being enough. I'm not serving enough. And then there came the disappointment with that. Well, as a people pleaser and as someone who wants their husband or spouse to be happy, that bothered me. So I'm always looking at, how can I change? How can I improve? What can I do to be better? And that's what most of us do. Most of us, empathetic personality types, are going to lean more towards seeing ourselves as the problem, also because we're conditioned to believe that. So as we operate under this conditioning, we are more apt to take the blame. So these are the ways in which our peace is stripped from us so slowly and so methodically and so um, quietly, because of our ability or willingness to overlook and justify and rationalize, that when we look up and realize, wait a minute, I'm not okay. Wait a minute, I'm exhausted. Wait a minute, I'm not happy. And then try to act on that, what typically happens, and what happens for me, is we're put back in our place. And that literally is what I was told, maybe in so many words and maybe in exact words. Stay in your place. Let me be daddy. Let me be the man of the house. I'm the man of the house. You don't have authority. I have the authority. And he would use, obviously, also um, spiritual teachings to support that, because it is in the Bible. Out of context, it was used. Let me be sure to say that. So, how do we start getting our peace back? How much is your peace worth? That is the question tonight. If you're joining late, the question is, how much is your peace worth? Think about it the opposite. How much of your peace have you sacrificed? How much of your peace have you given away with less than in return? From the answer to that question is what leads you to what you're willing to do to regain and reclaim your peace, your voice, your identity, your joy, and that list goes on. These are questions I want to encourage you to take time to think about, journal it, think about it, because I created the 5 stages of healing. And stage 1 is the paradigm shift. And that's what we're talking about right now is the paradigm shift. And what does that look like? That looks like, I am not okay. I'm not happy. I don't have peace. Something's off. Something's not right. It's not supposed to be this way. All of these things that we allow to surface in our consciousness is the paradigm shift. Because what was it before then? It's okay. It'll be okay. It'll get better. I'm okay. Stuffing our needs, suppressing our needs. That's what was before stage 1. Stage 1 is the paradigm shift, which is merely saying, I am not okay. And if you've said that, you're already healing. You're already moving forward if you said that. In your head, out loud, it doesn't matter. But that is the beginning of your healing journey, is that stage 1, the paradigm shift. Please go to my website, The Passage to Peace, to learn more about the 5 stages. I'm also having a free virtual open house where I will share with you what my program will walk you through. I will walk you through these stages, step by step, with a community of healers, with a community of survivors, because that's the other thing that's missing when it comes to the question of how do you get your peace back. You surround yourself with people who understand. You surround yourself with people who've been there. And that's what I've created. I've created this community, and I want you to join me. So I'm not done yet. Don't leave yet. We're still talking about how to get your peace back. The second stage of the healing journey of the peace method that I created, the second stage is the E, which is establishing safety. What does that mean? Boundaries. And listen, let me tell you, boundaries with a narcissist, very different from the boundaries that I would talk about with other clients who are not in a relationship with a narcissist. Very different, because boundaries are not respected by a narcissist, as we know, because in their mind, and this is one of the traits of a narcissist, they believe they deserve special treatment. So what does that include? That includes double standards. What they can do, we can't do. What they get, we don't get. What we give them, we don't get in return. So boundaries with this personality type, as we know, boundaries don't work. They don't work. So we redefine boundaries as it relates to being in a relationship with a narcissist, and it looks very different. So that's another way of getting your peace back. And listen, remember, all of these things start before you leave. It's not about leaving. Of course, when you get to that stage, it's time to go. But I never tell my clients, just leave. You should just leave. Why are you still there? I would never say that. I stayed for 30 years. Who am I to tell you to leave? Do I think that that's the ultimate end result? Yes, but it's not going to happen on my time. It's going to happen on your time. And that's the only time that matters, because you're in it. And so if people don't understand let me rephrase that. If people tell you to leave, it's because they don't understand. We're talking about the trauma bond. We're talking about so many things. This relationship, this toxic relationship is like a drug. It's an addiction. And you don't just, oh, I'm in a relationship with a narcissist, I better go. Anyone who's in a relationship or has been in a relationship with a narcissist knows that doesn't happen. So surrounding yourself with safe people, a therapist who gets it, such as myself or any other therapist. And let me speak to that super quick. I met with a client today, and I've actually talked to many clients about this. And they talk about, I always ask, have you been in therapy before? And oftentimes the answer is yes. Sometimes it's no, and either one is okay. But I hear a lot or often that they've been in therapy before with a therapist who says that they treat narcissistic abuse, but they didn't feel understood. They didn't actually feel like their needs were being met. And so it's very important to ask your therapist what they know about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I want you to ask me questions. I'm an open book. My life is an open book. I wrote a book about my life. My life is an open book. My therapeutic practices, my therapeutic modalities, open book. Ask your therapist questions. That lets me know that you are determined to ensure that you are giving this journey or sharing this journey with someone who is going to be safe. That's the whole goal of therapy and relationships, period, is to be safe. So the therapist or coach that you work with, make sure they're safe. Make sure they understand. That's super, super important. Next is your support system. And many of my clients do not have one. Most of us, I was isolated too, even though I had a very supportive family, but they didn't know the half of what was going on behind closed doors. My guilt and shame wasn't going to allow me to say, hey, guess what we do when the doors are closed or when the clock strikes 12. And that's just not going to happen. Guess what happens to me? Guess what happens? Guess what I allow and what I'm willing to do for my man? Yeah, that's not going to happen. So we create our own isolation. So that is something that I have to own. That's what we have to own. So once you own it, it's not to blame yourself. It's to recognize this is what this relationship is doing to me. This is what I'm allowing myself to do to myself in this relationship because of conditioning. And one more thing people always ask me, well, not people always ask me, but I get this question. Is it all their fault? Don't you have any responsibility? Don't you have any part in it, in the dysfunction? Absolutely. I love when people ask me that question. I will be the first to say yes, raising my hand. Yes, yes. Listen, toxic attracts toxic. Dysfunction attracts dysfunction. I'm not a narcissist, but do I have issues and baggage that I brought into the absolutely. Y'all know I talk about the 50-50 rule. It's all I talk about. Therapy is about owning your part, but guess what? Not all of it. And when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you are expected to own all of it. That's not okay. But I am an advocate of own your part. I brought my need to be loved, and I had low self-esteem, so I needed him to make me feel good about myself, and I had trauma before I met him, so I'm bringing that with me. Yes, I have a part. Does that mean I'm the only one who should be in therapy? No. Does that mean I'm the only one who should be trying and fighting for the relationship? No. So I'm advocating for those of us who own our part and end up taking full responsibility for the relationship not working. That's not okay. That's absolutely, positively not okay. So how do we get our peace back? We own our part. Once you own your part, you will start to say, I deserve peace. You will start to not accept anything less. Now, the sad part is that what happens when we come to that conclusion is that we have to accept that more than likely peace will not be found in a relationship with a narcissist. It's worth a try because guess what? If you leave without trying, we're more likely to say, if I had just, if we had just, maybe I should have. I mean, throw some hearts up if you've experienced all the what ifs, if you've tried to leave and went back because you felt guilty. So we're going to need, thank you for the hearts, y'all. We're going to need to experience whatever we need to experience in order to get to the last straw. The last straw that says, my peace is non negotiable. Can you imagine saying that? Your peace is non negotiable. That's some powerful stuff, but it's also scary. It's scary because, well, what does that mean? If my peace is non negotiable and I'm trying to negotiate with someone, hold on, I've been trying to negotiate with someone for peace for how long? Still don't have it. You come face to face at a crossroads that nobody wants to get to. So instead, denial. Instead, justify. Instead, stay for the kids, which is the worst thing we can do. But listen, that door of having to accept that I won't find peace here, there's a lot of uncertainty and fear and fear of being alone, fear of what if no one else will love me, fear of what if I can't, and all of the stuff. But again, I ask you, how much is your peace worth? My peace was worth 30 years of sacrifice. And as I say that, I'm also going to say, wasn't all bad. Wasn't all bad. I will never say 30 years of hell. Oh, woe is me, poor me. No. Was I a victim? Absolutely. Did I make bad choices? Absolutely. Did I accept things that I should not have allowed? Absolutely. You hear me saying I? I'm not saying he. I'm done with that. And now I did do that. Don't get me wrong. It was he. He. All he. Y'all should have seen me in couples therapy for the one time he did go. Maybe two. No, maybe two. One time. I let loose because I finally felt safe. I finally felt safe enough to just put it all out there, put all his business, our business, all that stuff, all the secrets, all the shame, all the guilt that I was carrying. I found my safe space and I just whoosh, felt so good. But I mean, I lost control. That's how long I had been keeping all of that stuff locked away. And it felt so good. But then what happened? He used it against me. He looked at the therapist and said, see, you see what I got to deal with? This stuff happened 20 years ago and she's still talking about it. I'm like, wait, did that? Immediately started second guessing myself. And then I was like, nope, you're not going to do that to me. You're not going to do that to me. Not this time. I'm done with that. It's happening to me in my mind, in my heart, in my spirit, in my soul, in my gut today. Let's deal with it today. And if you don't want to, I'll deal with it. And I did. Ended up dealing with it alone. And as I got healthier, he did not. How did I know that? It's because his exact words were, I don't like the new Marcia. Those were his exact words. I don't like the new Marcia. I said to myself, because I'd been in therapy, working on my strength, my power, my voice, setting boundaries for myself, not for him. He didn't care about boundaries, my own boundaries. He noticed. His response, I don't like the new Marcia. I was like, wow, that must mean I'm doing something right. Because you liked me when I was sacrificing every bit of myself for you. Now that I'm not, you don't like me, huh? Wow, what does that say, y'all? What does that say? That was a powerful statement he made. And it let me know I was on the right track. And I'm going to take it one step further. He said, because I said I was in therapy, he said, well, your therapist is messing your head up. I got to laugh. I just have to laugh. That was him trying to regain control because he knew he was losing it. He knew he was losing it. And I knew I was finding it. And it felt good. Oh my gosh, it felt good. All right, y'all, I really could keep talking about this because I want you to know that your peace is worth everything you give it. But you have to decide that you deserve it. And once you decide you deserve it, there's no going back. And again, I'm not talking about leaving the relationship. When you get there, you get there. It doesn't matter where you are today, other than deciding that you deserve peace. And I hope you're here because you are deciding that you deserve peace, because you do. But I didn't know I did till I realized I didn't have it. Realized meaning I had to accept that I'm either going to have to accept that this is my life or decide I deserve peace. I don't deserve to be disrespected, taken advantage of, put in situations that I don't want to be in, being somebody who I'm not. And how do I know that now? Is because after 5 years of being divorced, I look back on who I was and I was like, wow, there's no parts of me today of who I was in my marriage. I feel so free. I am so thankful. I want to represent that for you. It's not easy. It's not easy. Never was. But how much is your peace worth? How much is your peace worth? How much have you already sacrificed? What do you deserve? Ask yourself these questions. If you go to my website, please sign up to come for free on Saturday at noon Eastern Time. Let's talk about what the stages of peace look like and how you can get there, and you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. There are so many other people like you, and I work with them every day. There's a community waiting for you. There's encouragement, people who get it waiting for you. You don't have to do this alone. Don't. I beg you, don't. Before we knew what we know now, we didn't have a choice. Or at least we didn't know we had a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice. Peace is priceless. That's how much peace is worth. You can't put value on it because it's your life. You literally have to see this as life or death. If you don't, you'll stay for 30 years and more. I never saw it as life or death. That was too much. That was being too dramatic. Life or death. Emotional life or death. Physical life or death. Spiritual life or death. Financial life or death. Sexual life or death. Mental life or death. Parental life or death. Personal life or death. It is. It is. If you don't see it that way yet, it's okay. Still come. Come every Monday. I'm here every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Come Saturday at noon. Go to my website to get the link. thepassageToPeace.com. I'm a licensed therapist and a narcissistic abuse recovery coach, and I've been in recovery for 5 years. Yay me, free, and my peace is priceless. How much is yours? Take care, y'all. Hope to see you next week. Hope to see you Saturday. Bye.